Is Jimmy Garoppolo the starting quarterback Sunday?
I'm not going to answer that because I feel like all you guys got to do is look how I've talked since July 27th, I think it was my opening day press conference. I almost wish I wasn't being hard-headed with it, but I feel like you guys are being a little hard-headed. Keep asking. I feel like I've already answered it, so keep it at that.
What point were you told or not told that you would be the starting quarterback this season?
For a while. I told you guys a long time ago I had a pretty good feeling about it. Kind of joked about it, but yeah, I always kind of knew where I stood and everything, and yeah, now it's official, I guess.
It really wasn't an official competition, but did it feel like a competition?
Not to me, no. I go into it pretty consistently every day, just the same attitude. I mean, it's always a competition, but you're competing against the defense during training camp. Now we're competing against Detroit in this week and everything, but yeah, that's kind of always where I've been with my head, and it helped me stay steady throughout this whole thing.
I got a couple challenge flags to throw on what Jimmy G said. First of all, it wasn't all that long ago that he said he's got a pretty good feeling. It was like a week ago. And before that, Chris, as you've surmised, the door was open for Trey Lance. He just didn't walk through it. Plain and simple.
Yeah, no, plain and simple. I mean, again, I don't know why Kyle Shanahan won't say just, yeah, Jimmy's our starter. That's it. I don't know why he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't want to be associated with that headline.
The door's still open. Because the door's still open.
Well,
because
you're
the
right.
door's still open for Trey Lance. That's why.
It is. I mean, it is, but I don't think it is for this week. But yes, I mean,
no. But he's leaving the light on for Trey Lance.
You're right.
So you start giving credence to the idea that Jimmy Garoppolo is our starting quarterback for 2021. It makes it more awkward if that little package of plays for Trey Lance grows and grows and grows, and then our starter isn't Jimmy Garoppolo anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Mike. I think you're probably right. I do. I don't have an answer for this one, other than like just the details and evidence we saw throughout the offseason that we've talked about so much. There's obviously a dislike or not comfortable with the abilities of Jimmy Garoppolo within that San Francisco offense. I mean, obvious. You don't need to hear Kyle Shanahan say it or anything. The actions speak way louder than the words. I mean, come on. We went through the list of things that we saw, all off season. Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers. Is it Mac Jones? Is it Trey Lance? Is it Justin Fields? I don't know, but it's anybody but Jimmy Garoppolo. So there's obviously a issue with how he runs the football team, but I don't know where it goes from here. I don't. And the other thing too is like Jimmy Garoppolo, as we go forward here, I don't think he's going to be shy about some of these things. I don't. What's he got to lose? What has he got to lose? Right. Like we saw last week, he talked about how he talked to Drew Brees and how he handled the Taysom Hill thing. There was no discussion about, or nobody had said anything about that in San Francisco until Jimmy G. I think he's got a little bit of like the, F it. What do I got to lose? You ask the question, I'm going to answer it. I don't give a damn. I mean, doesn't seem like Kyle likes me anyway, so I'll just tell you guys the truth, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and I think that attitude manifested itself in that clip we saw of him going headfirst into the end zone, taking on a couple of Raiders. He is going to throw caution to the wind. And the reality is, the more recklessly he plays, the more likely he gets injured, and the sooner the door opens for Trey Lance to take the job, not because Jimmy Garoppolo was benched, but because he can't play because he's injured. And one thing I've noticed, and it is somewhat comical to me, and I understand the way fans are wired, a lot of 49ers fans get upset when we say these things, and I think what upsets them is we are saying out loud the things that they are concerned about. And if you're a 49ers fan, you're concerned that they don't have a plan. They haven't had a plan. The entire offseason has just been ricocheting around possibilities and then creating the impression there's a plan. But wait, what is the plan? All that we gave up, 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick, and the guy's going to be a cameo player at best. That's the plan now? What is the plan? Where does this go? What is our short-term plan? What's our long-term plan? Maybe that's the strategy. If so, bravo, 49ers. You have successfully confused everyone as to what your plan is.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm with you. I mean, it does. The optics of the situation, you explained it pretty good. It does appear that way in a lot of ways. And, added to that, to where maybe the angst comes from Shanahan or, the 49er fan base or organization. Listen, there was 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. Trey Lance looked the least of all 5 of them in the preseason. I'm sorry. I don't know the way to say it. Is there some good? They all look good. So I'm not trying to say it was bad, but he looked by far the least ready. That's what I do know. I mean, Zach Wilson's ready. Mac Jones is ready right now. Put him in. Trevor Lawrence looks like he's ready and is also in the toughest situation with new coach, everything we talked about there. Justin Fields, yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more, but he's ready. It's not overwhelming to him, and he didn't show signs of like, whoa, I can screw the game up for the whole organization. That's where the Trey Lance thing gets a little interesting. It's just there's a real rawness to his game where you just go, you can't make him the starter this year. You can't. I would be scared to. With the way he looked in the preseason, the missed throws, the unawareness in the pocket, he is clearly a year away, at least, in my opinion. Now, there's some highlight plays like you see here. I mean, this is a rocket down the middle. Here's Shanahan coming up with a play that you're not going to see him run until week 7 in the NFL season, but did it to make Trey Lance look good, jumpstart his confidence. But there's too many other missed wide open slam dunk high school throws that he should complete, and the unawareness in the pocket to take sacks and all of that goes with it. I think that's concerning, and that's added more pressure to the whole situation as well.
As we've sat here and talked about this today, Chris, I've run through my memory bank some of the different things that Kyle Shanahan has said throughout the offseason. And one thing coaches need to realize, and this is separate and apart from your football skills, you are the conduit to the fans. You're speaking to the fans. And their confidence or lack thereof in the team, in many respects, is going to be influenced by the things you say, how you say them. And I think back to Kyle after the draft when they took Trey Lance. He explained how all the different rumors and speculation, he just kind of sat back and kept his mouth shut because he was kind of amused by it all. He was amused by the Mac Jones talk. They didn't do anything to reel that in. What do we need to do? We didn't need to reel it in. Well, here's a reason why maybe you should have put a hose on the Mac Jones talk as soon as it bubbled up. Mac Jones is starting week 1. Mac Jones went 12 picks after you took Trey Lance. And I think that to the extent that Kyle took a break from studying X's and O's to become a sociologist and a student of human nature, he may have misstepped here by not killing the Mac Jones talk earlier, assuming that there wasn't anything to it. Now,
right,
Chris, you and I believe there was something to it. But regardless, from a PR standpoint, from a customer relations standpoint, from a how much confidence do you inspire in your fans standpoint, they blew it because Mac Jones is starting. And if Mac Jones is great this year and Trey Lance is in bubble wrap or just playing a little bit, that's not going to fly with the faithful. And they're not going to like it when we say it, but privately they're going to be grumbling among themselves saying, what the hell did we do? We should have taken Mac Jones.
Yeah, sure. But the one thing I'll say to that faithful is a lot of you were the reasons that they were backing like, what, you can't take Mac Jones and a guy that looks like that over Trey Lance? So I want to go eat it, 49er fans. You wanted this. So, shut up. I don't know how to say it. Shut the hell up. You can't have it both ways. But the Mac Jones – But go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say it's incumbent on Kyle Shanahan at that point because there was no game to be played. That's the point. Right. Trevor Lawrence is going first. Zach Wilson is going second. You don't have to mess around. You don't have to play any games with anyone. You can say, Mac is our guy. And I know he doesn't look like the conventional chiseled athlete. He's anything but trust us. He's going to be pretty good. We believe in him. This is why we moved up here. He's our guy. And I don't know whether they outsmarted themselves. I don't know what they did. But they turned something into a game that didn't need to be a game, Chris. And now the game's potentially going to blow up in their face.
I get the impression really that Shanahan wanted to do something new on his offensive side of the ball. You know, you read things in the news and everything, the impression of, hey, he's got a lot of coaches in his coaching tree running his offense that are similar to that, you know, that's similar to his. You know, people are stealing his plays. You know, I think those were probably all things that were running through his mind. The one thing I would say is just like, man, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You know, none of these disciples that have come off your tree are as good as you. I watch Matt LaFleur's offense in Green Bay all the time. I go, no, it ain't Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. He's not as good. It's not as creative on a week-to-week basis. It doesn't matter if it's McVay, anybody. So I think like Shanahan didn't give himself enough credit for what he could do with Mac Jones, if that's what it came down to. I don't know that. Again, I don't know. Yeah, I thought, this is my friend, I thought he was drafting Mac Jones. Obviously, I don't know. So, you know, but the other thing that I think is worthy of bringing up, and then to your point, is the New England thing has really put pressure on the situation. It's made it twice as more pressurized. It just because New England doesn't like to play rookies in general, let alone rookies at quarterback. So you know this dude up there, Mac Attack, is practicing well if they were willing to make him the starter week 1. Like, New England doesn't do stuff like that at any position, really, let alone the quarterback. So that's got to be scary to 49ers fans, Shanahan, and everyone involved in the business as well because, yeah, you know, Belichick seems to have a lot of confidence in a guy and likes the way he looks already.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.